It was supposed to be a simple weekend getaway. Just me and my older brother Cameron, camping deep along the East Coast. He picked a site like he always did, and I just went along for the ride. The place he chose looked perfect. Quiet, open, and untouched by crowds. The kind of spot you find only after hours of hiking through thick trees and uneven trails. But there was something off about it. The campsite didn't feel official. No signposts, no fire pits. Just patches of grass where people might have set up before. We shrugged it off and picked one of the clearings. At first, it felt peaceful. The forest humming softly around us. The occasional bird call fading as the sun dipped lower. But soon, we started noticing little things scattered through the clearing. An old hiking boot, a trekking pole. A torn backpack strap half buried in the dirt. They weren't fresh. But they didn't look like the forest had claimed them yet either. We laughed it off, saying someone must have just packed in a hurry. Still, I remember Cameron pausing for a moment, longer than usual, staring into the trees before setting our tent down. By nightfall, the woods were pitch black, the kind of darkness that eats the firelight. Before it reaches the edge of your camp, we built a fire, cracked open a few cans, and talked until the stars blurred overhead. Then, out of nowhere, I noticed a faint flicker. Behind Cameron, a small orange glow, far between the trees. At first I thought my eyes were playing tricks on me, but when I pointed, he saw it too. A fire. Another fire deep in the forest where there shouldn't have been one. That direction was nothing but thick woods. No trails, no clearings. But there it was, steady and low, like whoever was out there didn't want to be seen. We talked about it for a while, trying to reason it away, maybe another hiker. Maybe someone lost, eventually. We ignored it, put out our fire, and crawled into the tent. I must have slept an hour or two before I woke up. Not from a noise, but from the pressure in my bladder. Cursing quietly, I unzipped the tent and stepped out. The forest was silent, my breath fogged in the cold air. I walked a short distance from camp, far enough to avoid animals. And that's when I saw it again. The other campfire was still burning. I don't know why, but I couldn't stop staring at it. My eyes began to adjust to the dark, and that's when my stomach dropped. Between me and the fire was a shape, a figure. It was still motionless, just standing there. I blinked hard, thinking it was a bush or a trick of the shadows. But then I saw another and another. Soon, I realized there were many faint, tall silhouettes lined between the trees facing me. 10, maybe 15 of them watching. My breath caught in my throat. I turned and hurried back to the tent. Heart pounding so loud, I swore it would wake Cameron. I hesitated for a moment, but instinct won. I shook him awake. He groaned, confused until he saw my face. "Someone's out there," I whispered. He grabbed the flashlight, and we stepped out. I pointed toward. The trees and the light caught something. The figures had moved closer. They weren't just standing still. Now I could see the faint, slow sway of people trying not to be seen. Cameron froze. His voice came out small, shaking. Should we leave? I'd never heard him sound like that before. We didn't pack, didn't grab the tent. We just took our wallets, the car keys, and bolted down the trail, our flashlights trembling in our hands. For a long time, all I could hear were our footsteps, and the feeling that something else was moving behind us. When we finally reached the car, we slammed the doors and drove without saying a word. Later, we told the police what happened. They wrote it off, said we must have seen shadows or maybe a group of campers. But we knew what we saw, and when they asked if we remembered anything strange at the site, Cameron only said one thing: there were things left behind, but no one ever came back to claim them. It was 2 years ago, in the middle of spring. I'd taken a few days off work to clear my head, and what better way than camping alone at my favorite lake in northern Minnesota. I'd been there before with friends, family, but this time, it was just me. The hike took about 2 hours, mostly flat, nothing too hard. By late afternoon, I had my tent set up a little way from the lake, far enough to feel tucked inside the woods, but close enough to still hear the gentle ripples of water. I cracked open a beer, sank into my folding chair, and listened. Birds, wind, water, that soft calm you only find miles from anyone else. The sun began to dip, and soon, the forest turned from golden green to deep shadow. I loved that time, the silence, the solitude. It always made me feel strangely free. But that night, something was different. As darkness settled in and my campfire flickered low, a feeling crept over me, one I couldn't shake. It felt like eyes were on me, watching, measuring. I told myself I was just tired, but every time I turned my head, I found myself staring into the black between the trees, waiting for something to move. The forest was dead quiet. No insects, no rustle, just my fire cracking softly. Still, I tried to relax. I poured another drink, let my mind wander to work, life, anything to distract from the unease building in my chest. Then, crack, a sound shattered the silence, a heavy snap of wood just ahead of me. It wasn't close, but it was loud enough to echo through the trees. My blood ran cold. It sounded like someone or something had just stepped on a thick branch. I grabbed my bear spray and called out, "Hello? Someone there?" No answer, not even a hint of movement. If it were an animal, I thought I'd hear it shifting or brushing past the bushes, but there was nothing. I sat frozen for a minute, eyes locked on the dark. Then I remembered the flashlight in my pack. I dug it out, flicked it on, and shined it straight ahead. Nothing. No eyes, no animal, no movement, just endless trees and shadows. Still, the fear felt real. My instinct screamed at me, something's out there. I tossed more wood on the fire, making it blaze brighter. Every few minutes, I'd scan the tree line again. Nothing changed until it did. When I turned the light on one more time, I caught a glimpse far at the edge of the beam. A man. He was tall, too tall, maybe 6'5", broad shoulders, motionless. The second my light touched him, he stepped back. Out of sight, my heart pounded. He was real. Someone had been watching me the entire time. I didn't think. I just moved. I tore down the tent, stuffed everything into my pack, grabbed the flashlight, and ran in the opposite direction of where he'd been. My lungs burned, my legs shaking, but I didn't stop until I hit the main trail. After a while, when I finally slowed down, I switched the light to its dim setting and walked fast, quietly. Every sound behind me made my skin crawl. Why hadn't he attacked me? Why just watch? Maybe he was waiting to see if I had a weapon. Or maybe he wanted to wait until I was asleep. When I finally saw my car headlights glinting in the distance, I nearly collapsed with relief. I drove straight home, didn't look back once. I still go camping now and then, but it's never the same. No matter how peaceful it seems, I can't shake that feeling that somewhere beyond the light of the fire, someone's watching, silent, still, waiting. Like and subscribe before the dark finds you first.